Hi YouTube, this is Adama, aka Lilith Astrology, and welcome to my Sun and Sign series. Our next sun sign is Gemini, which rules the third house and is actually the mutable sign of this first trio we have here. Gemini. So Gemini rules the planet Mercury. Um, Mercury is all about communication, thought process, travel, going from place to place, skipping around and different connections and communications. It rules the nervous system. So that's Gemini in a nutshell. Gemini people, it's an air sign. So air, and I mentioned in the prior video before in Aries, that air sign people are more cerebral. They, analyze and process things through thinking before making a decision and moving forward. So Gemini is just that type of air that's whizzing from place to place, and that's a Gemini sun sign. The twins is the symbol, and it's literally like, multiple connections and people and things and variation. So that's Gemini. They tend to just be very social people, very talkative, very Mercurian energy. They always want to talk, and they think, and they love to communicate with their friends. They have a lot of friends. They're very social people. They'll have a lot of connections, and they just love to travel and move around and always be on the go, seeing this friend and, traveling for work and just different places, different things, just variety. They can get bored very easily if there's nothing to stimulate them cerebrally, or they're stuck in the same place all the time. That's not something that they like. It doesn't feed and nourish their sun and who they are and their ego. I love these people. They're just, they can be the life of the party, along with our friend Leo. You got a Leo and a Gemini in the room. It's a party, in my opinion. I've always have a lot of fun with my Gemini friends. And so they're mutable, meaning they're not, fixed like Taurus. They can change, they can see different points of view and, flip and say like, hey, actually, now that I process and analyze it, I don't really think that anymore. I think this. So they can always be changing their opinion. I think that's a great attribute to have. I think, I'm a fixed Scorpio, and sometimes I can be very stubborn and not listen to others' opinion. And I think it's great that Geminis are able to do this. A conversation with a Gemini will always be interesting. And that's the way that you can spark a Gemini's, attention or entertain them, is if you're a great conversationalist. Let's see, Gemini, I'm ruled by Mercury. I would say compatibility-wise, the best, Aries and Leo is great for Gemini. Air feeds fire, so that Gemini energy will encourage and build on that fiery Aries or fiery Leo energy. They can feed that ego, that especially with Leo, and just encourage them creatively, encourage them and build them up. I also would say other air signs, Libra and Aquarius, are great. And it's, what, again, here's my favorite, Scorpio. Gemini and Scorpio actually can get along. And let me tell you why. Because normally most people would, most astrologers, I think actually most astrologers believe what I believe, but most people who have common knowledge of astrology don't realize that Gemini and Scorpio, they have a little mythology going on. So Mercury was the only god that could go down into Hades, aka Pluto, and come back and bring messages. to the gods. So Gemini and Scorpio always have a lot to talk about. Scorpio just is very entertained and shares a lot with Gemini, and I think vice versa. Relationship-wise, that might be a challenge. It depends also on the whole chart, but generally these people can have a great friendship and tend to get along. To be honest, Scorpio can get along with any sign in the zodiac if they want to, but yeah, it's a very interesting dynamic, those two. So that's it, I think, for Gemini. Yeah, it's a spring energy. It's the third sign, and the third house rules siblings and communication and travel, and thought processes, the nervous system. So that is what embodies Gemini, the twins. So this is Lilith Astrologer, Adam Assise. Follow me on Instagram and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.